Hello, welcome to GNI Live Training. My name is Michael Grant, Teaching Fellow at the Google News Lab. Today I'll be sharing Google Earth and Google Earth Studio. These are two awesome tools that will allow you to create and enhance storytelling with Google Earth as your canvas. As a Teaching Fellow, I work as part of Google News Initiative. The GNI is Google's effort to build a stronger future for journalism. My role focuses on the first of the three E's: elevate and strengthen quality journalism. The other areas of focus for the GNI are evolving business models through programs such as Subscribe with Google and empowering news organizations through technological innovation. This is mainly achieved through our regional innovation challenges, as well as our development of tools for journalists. To help journalists stay up to date with the latest tools and workflows for finding and telling news stories, we have developed a training website, g.co/news training. This site will allow you to, at your own pace, learn all about the elements of digital journalism, from search to verifying and visual storytelling on the web. I'll refer back to this site over the course of the training, but if at some point in the future you can't remember how to use a tool, I would highly recommend this resource. One of our newer developments that we have in storytelling is the ability to use Earth as a canvas to tell stories. Google Earth, which you can find at earth.google.web, Google, earth.google.com/web, now supports creation tools. Prior to the development of creation tools, all elements of a story using Earth had to be created using HTML coded inside of Earth as a special project. One of the first uses of this was a series by Time called Finding Home. It told the story of a family of Syrian refugees as they left Syria, had a child, and moved to Europe. The story traces the family's journey across Europe, showing how they traveled, through text and videos explaining what was happening at each point along the way. When you go into Google Earth, you can see a selection of projects that have been already made. Clicking the Explore button allows you to edit these to get inspiration from work that others have created. Using Google Earth creation tools, it is now possible to create this level of interactivity without any coding by adding lines, points of interest, or highlighting whole areas. To get started, go to earth.google.com/web. Once you are there, click on the Projects tab and select Create New Project. At this point, I'm going to demonstrate what it's like to create a story using Google Earth. For this project, we'll do a few details about the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. To get started, I will go ahead and navigate here to the search area, and I'll type in Tokyo. That takes our camera to the area of interest. Next, I will create a project. Simply click the Projects tab in the menu. Here is where we're able to make a new project. I will select Create. And when creating projects, it will automatically save the project in our own Google Drive. I'll title this project Tokyo Olympics. Next, I can add a description. I'll call this a sample story. At this point, we're able to add new features to our story. I'll start by beginning with a first feature, and that will be a full screen slide. In this slide, I'll simply call it a title slide. Next, we can add a background of our choice. Click this icon, and you can search uh, Google or perform a Google image search and look for an image of your choice. One thing to be careful of is not to take copyright protected imagery. Right now I'm looking for the perfect logo treatment that I can use for my title slide. There's lots here to choose from. I'm going to try to find something that's going to fill up my entire screen. To preview, I can select this preview presentation on the top left-hand side of my screen. I see that there's a branded element here, so maybe I should find something else. Click Delete, Background, and now I'm back searching again. I'll just go with this one. One more time. This looks good. I'll select that. All right, when we're satisfied with our title, we can add another element. Simply go back, New Feature, and at this point, we're going to add a line. By selecting Draw Line or Shape, you can now draw shapes right here on the map. I'm going to scroll out until I have all of Japan in view. Now I can just click and draw lines around Japan. I'll call it Japan. Hit Save, and now I have a shape. When I click on the shape, I have now options to edit. I'll hit the edit icon, and I can control things like the outline, width, and color, and the fill color, among other things. I'm going to take the screen off of here because right now it's 25% white. Clicking this drop down, hitting 0, removes the screen. I'm going to preview that too. Looks good to me. Next, I'm going to add a place mark. So I'll search for a specific place, and I think what I want to add is the stadium. By searching for New National Stadium, I can add the stadium where the games are to be played. Notice on the right-hand side, it gives details. These come from the Google Knowledge Graph. By selecting Add to Project, it will bring in these details right into my project. New National Stadium, that looks correct. I'll hit Save. Now you'll see in this menu that we have our title, we have an outline of Japan, and we also have the New National Stadium. By going to Present, I can now see a sequence of slides. Here's a table of contents. You can hit the forward and back arrows. There's Japan. And here's the New National Stadium. So next, we'll take a dive into uh, Google Earth. I'm sorry, Google Earth Studio. So here's a quick overview of Google Earth Studio. Google Earth Studio is a high-end tool for creating broadcast quality video using Google Earth's catalog of 3D imagery. As you can see, it looks amazing. I'm going to go ahead and play a video that'll show you more of it in action. So there are so many ways that you can use Google Earth Studio to stage amazing shots. And it's great for creating locator maps, timelining events, establishing shots, and even creating B-roll, among other things. So at this point, I'll show you how to get started with Earth Studio. I'm going to navigate to earth.google.com/studio. It may take a bit to load. but when it does, it's beautiful. Now, when we get started with Google Earth Studio, we have two options for creating projects. We can create a blank project, or we can open an existing project. You can also import elements. In this example, we're going to create a project from a quick start. Quick starts are really great because they give you a starting point for your project. In the Zoom 2 example, you'll see the convention that we've used over um, the course of uh, Google Earth's inception. And so in this case, it zooms from a pretty high view right to the area of interest. Orbits are another convention for showing an area. And so it simply spins around a particular item or element or landmark. Point to point is really interesting as well. You might have noticed this convention in other videos, but it allows you to go from one point to the next. And finally, spiral. It's a really elegant way to get in close on a particular item or area of interest. Today, I'll start with point to point. I simply select it here and hit start. Now, with the Earth at our fingertips, we can go ahead and add places of interest on our own. Why don't I try the Olympics example again? I'm going to type in New National Stadium, and here it is in Tokyo, Japan. Now, you'll notice that this is an overhead shot, and when I use two fingers on my trackpad, I can zoom in and out. By holding down Command and clicking and dragging, I can reposition my camera. Wow, that's beautiful. I'll go in a little closer. And great, I think I have the view that I want. Hitting the arrow allows me to add a second point. I'll add the Tokyo Aquatic Center. There it is again, and it's an overhead view. Click and drag to reposition your camera where you'd like it. Holding down Command and clicking and dragging allows me to reposition the camera on an angle. I'll get in closer so we can see it. All right. So hitting next will show us what it looks like to go from one place to the next. I think it's good to go, so I'm going to hit this check mark. So now that we've used this method of creating a point-to-point, we're now given a view and a working space. To the left are how we create camera angles. Right here in the view is where we can see our project. And finally, we have a timeline, and we have controls to edit much more, including lat and long, and altitude, camera targets, camera resolutions, and more. These states are tweens, or places or stops inside of your project. Those are also editable individually and together. By playing the video, uh-oh, you'll now see where every effect takes place on the timeline. Finally, when it's time to render, after you're satisfied with what you've created, you can hit this red render button. You can give your project a title, New Olympic Sequence. You can specify the number of frames. You can adjust your dimensions, and you can even position the Google Earth attribute in the location on the map where you prefer. One thing to note is that the export is going to export as JPEGs. Soon, the Google Earth Studio will allow for the exporting of video, and that's soon to come. And I should also add that hitting submit will begin the render process. It'll take a little time for your movie to render, but when it does, a download will be available for you. So you can sign up for a preview if you haven't already by going to g.co/earthstudio. So we're glad that you can join us for this first live training. Don't forget, we offer support to newsrooms, and you can always contact us for support at newslabsupport@google.com. We also train individual newsrooms in Hangouts, and I am happy to work with any of your newsrooms, and you can contact me directly, grantmichael@google.com. Don't forget to visit our training website, g.co/newstraining, and thank you so much for spending your time with us this afternoon. I look forward to seeing you and hopefully looking to see some of your awesome work in Google Earth and Google Earth Studio. Take care and have a great day.